Hi guys, this is Soumitra here, and we are looking into the problem red and green, which is a very beautifully crafted problem available on SPOJ. The sources showing as resources showing as top coder and added by Bidan. So basically the problem description says something like that we have been given an array of red and green indexes for the given array, and you have to move out, you have to repaint red and green in such a way that red is on your left hand side and green is on your right hand side in the array. So let's see some of the sample test cases. So this is RGR. So if we look into this, if we want to solve this, then we have to look that how can we have only red and green, left hand side, and green on right hand side. Okay, so now in this case, if you can convert this two greens into R, then there is no green left over, and hence it is a proper solution. So the answer is 2. In this one, 3 red and, if I'm not wrong, 5 greens are consistently placed, which is already a solution. So no moving or converting red to green is required at this point. Now see this G G G R R R. Now in this case 3 red are on right hand side, so the ideal solution will be to paint all these 3 red into greens, as the cost is coming as 3. If you see this one, so red green red green red green. So if I see count the green, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So if you paint all the green into red one, then you don't need to do anything. So this is, so how do we approach this problem? And here if you'll see about the input size, input will contain between 1 and 50 characters inclusive. So there is no, basically the input is not very big for each of the line. Okay, but if you are good into combinatorics, then you can see out that 50 places we can solve, we can put RNG into 50 places in 2 to the power 50 ways. Okay, so our problem set or input set is too big, so there should not be any way that we can capture all the pre-recorded solutions for this, because the problem set itself is very big, 2 to the power 50. So one way to solve this problem is, which is a very beautiful way, is look at how many, at any given index I, let's say here. So let's say I'm assuming the index are starting from 0 1 2. So at any moment of index I, if we can figure out that how many, this is important, that how many greens are on left hand side and how many red are on right hand side, then if we sum up at that index, so assuming let's say this is the index at which we want to split. So assuming that at this side, which is second index, we want 0 1 2 all of them to be red and GRR to be green, then in that case the input, then in that case what exactly we need to do at any index? So let's say at any, now I'm rephrasing it, let's say at any index I, Okay, from 0 to I we want to put all the red, and from I plus 1 up to the nth character we want to put green. How do we solve it? So if we calculate out this value for each of the existing index, then we can simply get the solution which will give solution which will have the minimum value for any given index I. So let's start coding it. So this is an accepted solution. So I hope it is well tested and error free. So I'm basically coding it into Java. So rand for SPOJ, I usually go with this name because RANDG, RandG for SPOJ. So if I code for top coder. So I'm basically starting again with public static void main, and I'm here using a scanner to input the given input sequence. Scanner S. There is no special sequence if you'll see out. The input is the sample input is terminated and all the test cases are terminated with the end of file. So I'm assuming when there is till the time when there is a next line, till that time they are expecting you to keep on printing the output. So assuming string sequence equal to f, let's say we got this sequence which is RGRGR. So this is not required. If does not sequence dot is empty, sequence is not empty, then what you do? We are saying that we are creating two arrays. One is green count, one is red count. So green count and red count, they basically are of same length of the input array. Now we are assigning it first so basically here what we are trying to figure out, we'll focus first on this code. It is saying that at any given index I, tell me how many numbers of greens are available from beginning from index 0 up to that index I. So I am saying that green count 0 at the 0th index of the array, sequence array. If sequence.char at 0 is 0, 0 is G. If it is G, then we are incrementing it by 1. We are saying that it is 1. Now we are iterating from I equal to 1 up to the length of the array for which this has been created, and we are saying that at any given moment of time the green count at that ith index is 0, and if the sequence is, if the character at that particular index is G, then we are simply assuming and adding it from I minus 1 index and adding by 1. And else if it is R, then in that case we are saying from 0 to I at index it will be up to equal to 0 to I minus 1. So similar way, let us go down and see. Similar way for red count. This was for green count. For red count we are saying that from any index I up to the last index, from any index I up to the last index of the array, how many reds are available. So we are starting from the last index. If it is a red, then we are saying that from this index up to the last index, which is exactly this index only, how many reds are available. It is 1. If it is R is 1 at the last point. Similar way we are iterating from right to left in this array, and we are checking that if the sequence is red at any moment of point, then in that case the count will be simply increment by 1 of